Okay, so the year was 1994. I had just moved to Los Angeles to start recording the first record, and the record was mostly written at this point by the time this song came along. And I heard this song sort of almost by accident towards the end of the album. Kristen Hall had submitted it, and we hadn't listened to it yet. And Dave Tyson sent me home with it, and almost immediately I was like, I want to put this on the album. I love this song. I can't remember exactly what the original demo sounded like, whether it had that open with the acoustic guitar. But Kristen was European, and she and I actually to this day have never met, which is unusual because I've either worked with or met most of the songwriters that I've recorded, whose songs I've recorded. But I just knew immediately, for some reason, the song really spoke to me, and we tried all kinds of different arrangements of it. And what I remember was that the take that finally ended up on the album was a complete take, which is sort of unusual. I sort of sang the song beginning to end, and we listened back to it, and we sort of debated, like, do we want to make any cuts? Do we want to make any edits? Do we want to add anything? And we were pretty happy with it. I can't remember who played that really great little line in the middle, that guitar line. But I just remember being at Dave's house with like all the windows open and looking out over this sort of valley where he lived. And it just seemed like such a perfect match. The weather was perfect, and it really felt like the record was sort of coming to an end because we were almost finished recording it. And it just sort of felt like the perfect backstop to all the other material that we had. It was the perfect cap for all of the other songs. It's one of those songs that no matter where I go in the world, everybody knows the words. I've sung it in rainstorms, which is like a little on the nose, but we've stopped shows because it was raining so hard, and the whole audience will just take over singing Let It Rain. I've sung it in Japan, where nobody spoke a word of English. I remember the first time we went to Japan, we were in Osaka, and we played at this little club. And Japan is kind of unusual in that you will submit, or at least in those days, you were submitting the set list before the show. So the audience was getting a copy of the set list, so they know what order the songs are going to be in. So they can anticipate what songs they know and what songs they don't know. Anyway, and at the end of the show, I remember walking out to the car, and there was this huge crowd of people waiting for us, which I could not possibly have anticipated. It was our first trip. So we got in the car, and the driver started driving, and it was sort of down this long alleyway, and I heard this kind of rush of noise behind the car, and I turned, and there was this girl who was running alongside the car. We weren't going very fast, but she was sort of running alongside the car. She was banging on the back window. So we stopped the car, and I rolled the window down, and she stuck her head up to into the window, and she said, "Amanda, let it rain. I had a good time." And it was the most gratifying thing that had ever happened to me at that point. She was this young girl, and you could tell that her English was not great, but she understood that she had had a great time. She knew the song. It was the song that she'd been waiting for, and it really speaks to the idea that when you go to see live music, those songs that you anticipate, those songs that you wait for, that's the most gratifying part of the night. And it doesn't matter if you understand the language, if you're from a different culture, it is a binder for people all over the world. This song has taken me from France to Alaska I've been all over the world singing this song. I've sung it on TV, I've sung it in hospitals, I've sung it all over the world, and it's always a song that kind of brings people together, and I'm so happy that we found it so late in the process.
Thanks for watching Behind the Vinyl. We have got a ton more episodes available to you. Your favorite artists with your favorite stories. And here's the thing, we're updating Behind the Vinyl all the time. So if you want to stay up to date on that, simply subscribe by clicking right up here. And you can do us a huge favor by sharing some Behind the Vinyls on your socials. Thanks.